Hi everybody! In this video we're going to have a look at contrastive stress. Now that is a type of sentence stress. Remember there are 4 types of sentence stress and you can learn more about them in my other videos. But here we're going to look at contrastive stress. Now we really use that type of stress when we want to send a special message. And that special message is different to the neutral message of our sentence or utterance. How do we do that? We move the normal stress to another word. And we change the neutral meaning to a different meaning. And it's really important to notice here that one word will be stressed even more than all the other words, and we change the meaning, but we do not change the word order. So you could say the grammar stays exactly the same in the sentence, nothing changes, the words in their order are the same. The only thing is that now another word is stressed even more than all the other words, and that changes the meaning of the sentence. Let's look at an example to make this clearer. Here we have a sentence. She doesn't think this is a good idea. Now we need to have a little bit of context so that the sentence makes more sense. So let's imagine this sentence was said in the following context. It's a group of friends and they discuss their weekend activities or weekend plans. Tom and Dave want to play football, but Katie, one of the friends, she doesn't think this is a good idea. Within this context, this sentence is said. She, and that is Katie, she doesn't think this is a good idea. Now, here is the normal sentence stress of this sentence if it's just with a neutral normal meaning. And you can see that above the sentence I put little bubbles. Some are small and some are big. The small bubbles mean unstressed syllables and the big bubbles are stressed syllables. So you can count all the bubbles. That will tell you how many syllables this sentence has, and the big ones are where the stress lies. And obviously there's more than one in this sentence here. So she doesn't think this is a good idea. Remember, in neutral, just when we say the sentence normally, usually content words are stressed and idea probably has the main stress. This is all about tonic stress and we talk about this in another video. But let's now see what happens when we move the main stress around and we place it onto different words. And so that means that that word would then be louder and clearer and has pitch change in comparison to the rest. Okay, the rest would be a little bit quieter, some obviously a lot quieter because they're unstressed, other sort of medium, but then one word has the main stress. Now let's do that. We're going to move the stress around and we're going to see how that changes the meaning of our sentence. Okay, so let's start with the first word. We're going to place the stress on she. Let's listen. She doesn't think this is a good idea. She doesn't think this is a good idea. What is the meaning that I'm trying to convey here? Probably something like, but the boys love the idea. She doesn't think it's a good idea, but the boys love the idea. Let's move the stress to the next word, doesn't. Let's listen. She doesn't think this is a good idea. She doesn't think this is a good idea. How have I changed the meaning now in my sentence? I'm emphasizing doesn't, and what I really want to say here is it's not true that she likes the idea. She doesn't think this is a good idea. Maybe somebody misheard me or thought she likes the idea, and I'm making sure, no, that's not true. She doesn't like the idea. Let's move the stress to the next word, think. Let's listen. She doesn't think this is a good idea. She doesn't think this is a good idea. The meaning here is just look at her. Her face says it all. You can see what she's thinking. She doesn't think this is a good idea. Maybe she didn't say anything, but it's clear from looking at her that she does not think this is a good idea. Let's move the stress onto the next word, this, a determiner. Let's listen. She doesn't think this is a good idea. She doesn't think this is a good idea. Here, the meaning is, but there's another idea that she likes. She doesn't think this is a good idea, but there is another idea she likes. Let's move the stress to the next word. You can see I left out is and a because placing the stress here would sound odd. There's not really a specific meaning for our context. So I'm going to put the next stress on good. And like I said, good is obviously usually stress as well, but we're going to stress it even more. Let's listen. She doesn't think this is a good idea. She doesn't think this is a good idea. She thinks this is a great idea. So we can stress good, maybe because we want to highlight, no, she doesn't think it's a good idea. She thinks it's a great idea. Of course, it could also be she thinks it's a terrible idea. Okay, so we're emphasizing the adjective here because we want to change it for another one. And last but not least, we're going to stress the word idea. She doesn't think this is a good idea. She doesn't think this is a good idea. Maybe here we want to imply it's a good activity in general, but it's not a good idea to do it because they should study instead. So you can see we've changed the stress from one word to the next, and the meaning changed alongside. But we didn't change anything in the word order or the grammar at all. So you can use contrastive stress to change the meaning of your sentence. Now, contrastive stress is also often used with determiners, this, these, that, those. We had an example just now, and here's another example to illustrate that. I think I prefer this color. I think I prefer this color. Again here, the meaning is I prefer this color, not any of the other colors. And this has contrastive stress in the sentence. Listen out for those little determiners when you hear them in sentences. Very often they are stressed. They carry contrastive stress. We also often use contrastive stress in question-answer statements. Let's look at an example. For example, a conversation between two people. One person asks, "Do you want pizza or pasta?" And another answers, "Pizza, please." Pizza has contrastive stress. We want to make sure the person understands that from the two options, that is the one we choose. Here is an example again for question-answer statements. Again, a conversation between two people. A asks, "Shall we have lunch inside?" And B answers, "No, let's eat outside." Outside would have contrastive stress because we contradict the inside, the suggestion from before. We say, "No, let's eat outside. The weather is great, let's eat outside." We also use contrastive stress in a statement just said by one speaker. Let's have a look at an example. "I'm very good at tidying, but I'm really bad at cooking. Here, the words good and bad have contrastive stress because we want to contrast. I'm really good at tidying, but I'm really bad at cooking. Those two things stand in contrast. Now, let's practice. Can you hear contrastive stress and figure out the meaning? We will look at this example sentence. Tilly wants to borrow your green shirt. I'm going to place contrastive stress on the various words in the sentence, and I will give you options for the meaning, and you need to match them. Let's have a look. Here is the sentence again. And because we have 6 different words, we're going to literally move the stress from one word to the next. In number 1 to 6, you can see the sentences with the different stress. It's always the same sentence, but I'm going to move the stress along. On the next side, on the right-hand side, you can see the various meanings of the sentence. Let's quickly read over those. A, she wants yours, not mine. B, she really likes it. C, not the grey one. D, she wants the shirt, not the skirt. E, not your friend Tina. And F, she wouldn't just take it without asking. Now, I'm going to read each of the 6 sentences from number 1 to number 6, moving the sentence stress, and I want you to answer which meaning I'm actually conveying. If you're watching this live, you can answer in the chat. Let's start. Number 1. Tilly wants to borrow your green shirt. Tilly wants to borrow your green shirt. Which answer is it? A, B, C, D, E, or F? Put your answer in the chat. And the right answer is E. Tilly wants to borrow your green shirt, not your friend Tina. Number 2. Tilly wants to borrow your green shirt. Tilly wants to borrow your green shirt. What is the meaning here? Have a look over the sentences from A to F. Answer in the chat. And the meaning is B. She really likes it. Tilly wants to borrow your green shirt. She really likes it. Sentence 3. Tilly wants to borrow your green shirt. Tilly wants to borrow your green shirt. What is the meaning? A, C, D, or F? And the right answer is F. She wouldn't just take it without asking. Tilly wants to borrow your green shirt. She wouldn't just take it without asking. Sentence 4. Tilly wants to borrow your green shirt. Tilly wants to borrow your green shirt. What is the meaning of this sentence? A, C, or D? And the answer is A. She wants yours, not mine. Tilly wants to borrow your green shirt. She want yours, not mine. And number 5 and 6, we're going to do these together to make it a bit more difficult because we only have 2 options left. Number 5, Tilly wants to borrow your green shirt. Tilly wants to borrow your green shirt. Have a look, is the meaning C or D? And for sentence 6, Tilly wants to borrow your green shirt. Tilly wants to borrow your green shirt. Again, is it C or D? Let's have a look at the answers for number 5. The answer is C. Let's listen once more. Tilly wants to borrow your green shirt, not the grey one. And for number 6, the answer is therefore D. Let's listen. Tilly wants to borrow your green shirt. She wants the shirt, not the skirt. Hopefully this was clear and you were able to hear the difference as we moved along with the words, with the sentence stress. Really, we shifted the stress and the meaning was really different each time. The meaning of the sentence changed. Here are the answers again, just in case, because I think spaghetti lines are a little bit difficult to see. So here you have the meaning of the sentence right next to the sentence. So Tilly wants to borrow your green shirt, and then on the right you can see not your friend Tina. So if you want to have a read over them again, maybe also read the sentences out loud and copy the contrastive stress. Pause the video so you can quickly do that on your own. That would be really good practice. If you have any questions about phonology, pronunciation, or the English language in general, leave me a comment below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and please subscribe to my channel.